Hey everyone, and welcome to 121 in Flux. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we talk about movies on this show. And in this episode, we are going back to a franchise that we started sometime last month, because there's a new entry coming sometime later this year. I'm being very vague about this, because I can't be bothered working out the math in my head as to how many months away it is. So this is going to be Predator 2. We did Predator 1 last time, and this was your first viewing of it.
Yes.
And this is true for the whole franchise. So Predator 2, your first time seeing Predator 2.
Yeah, it'd be weird to have seen Predator 2 and not the first one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I don't think it'd be that weird, just in the sense that I feel like the movies that a lot of us grew up on, it's more likely we saw them out of order because, you know, they were on TV. It was the one that you happened to get first,
okay,
kind of thing. Because I'm sure there was some movies that I saw out of order as a kid.
Okay,
Obviously, no, I would never do it now.
I can't think of any examples of ones that I did, but that doesn't mean I didn't.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I think I might have saw Batman Returns before Batman. Maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know, I think there was a few like that where I happened to see the second one or whatever first. But yeah, so we're going to dig into this. We will start spoiler free. We'll give you a warning before we get into spoilers. Predator 2 came out 3 years after Predator, 1990. It is set in the distant, war-torn future of 1997, where the drug gangs in Los Angeles have gotten so violent that there's basically just outright war battles on the street with the police, seemingly on a regular basis. That's kind of how we open the movie. But the basic premise of this, of course, is that you take the Predator and you put him in the urban jungle of a city, and that's what you do. Arnold's not back. He had to. I believe it was Terminator 2. Like, you know, originally, we're going to bring Arnold back and he's going to be in the second movie. But no, he's had to go do Terminator 2. But we do have Danny Glover instead. We also have Gary freaking Busey.
Yes, we do.
We also have Bill Paxton. That's quite a cast. We even have a small role for Adam Baldwin. You know, the hero of Canton, the man they call Jane.
Yes, we do. You're not going full into it.
Oh, if I must. So, he was on Firefly, and that was, of course, created by Joss Whedon, who also created the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Since you asked for it, I wasn't going to do it.
Dose out of the way.
I wasn't going to do it, but you clearly were begging for it.
There was a look in your eyes of, I should say it, shouldn't I?
You're lucky I didn't do the whole chorus of the song, to be honest. Just count your blessings.
Yeah, that's true.
I went straight to the punchline.
Yeah, I'll lay you off.
So yeah, so we got quite a cast, especially for this time period. We got quite a cast of characters. There's even some small actors in here that I was recognising from other movies at the time. The head of not the captain, the higher ranking guy that was even higher than him.
Right.
It was like a general looking dude, but he was over the police force. He was the villain in Beverly Hills Cop 2. And then at one point, like at the start of the movie, like there was like a SWAT guy who's actually the captain from Lethal Weapon movies. So obviously that's a nice little connection to Danny Glover, because this would have been between 2 and 3, I believe, in terms of when it was released. So this is right mid Lethal Weapon, Danny Glover. Yeah. But you know, he shaves that mustache and he looks like 10 years younger. It's insane.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does. It's bizarre because the plot of the third movie is that he was turning 50, and I'm watching this going, he looks quite good for almost turning 50.
It does.
I'm not sure if he was a little bit younger than the character or a little bit older than the character, but either way.
Yeah, no, I know you're right. Facial hair just immediately makes someone look older. Yeah. Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Whenever I shave my beard off, I look instantly much younger.
You lose at least 5 or 6 years immediately.
Yeah. I hate how it looks though, which is why I don't shave it. That's why I always have a beard.
Until you screw up.
Until I screw up. I trimmed it the other day though, so that went okay.
Oh yeah, you're good for now.
It went all right. I'm good for another month.
That's it. You're covered. No screw ups this month.
It's basically until it starts to annoy me because it's so long. I'm like, damn, I can actually just like hide most of my fingers in here. Right, it's time to go for a trim. Get a bit too bushy. But anyway, we're going to talk about Predator 2. I promise. So
yeah, not beards.
So Predator 2 is the one set in the city, and I'm curious actually. Before I ask you the question if you enjoyed it or not, because I feel like I've covered the plot. Predator's in the city and it's cops. Like there you go. That's the plot.
That is the plot.
Right. Because Predator 2 is one of these sequels that I feel gets an abundant amount of hate. There's a lot of people who write it off and hate it because, oh, just carbon copy of the first one, and it's got this reputation. Like, I see it in, like, worst sequels of all time lists, like, on a fairly relatively often basis, right?
Okay.
And I don't get that. Like, okay, you don't like it, it's a retread, fine, whatever, but come on. Come on.
Yeah, that would be weird.
That is like really overstating and being harsh here. So it is with that though that why I'm curious to whether or not, because you liked the first one, but you weren't in love with it because you're just not into the action movies quite as much. But so I am curious how you feel about Predator 2.
Funnily, I way preferred this one because it is a retread. This is the thing. It's the same movie, but instead of playing the macho army dudes, it plays all the cop stuff, which is way more to my liking inherently. Like, because that was the stuff that put me off the first one. I'm just like, I'm not really into this sort of stuff, all the character stuff. They're all kind of samey. Whereas here I'm like, yeah, no, this is more of the stuff I like, filling out all the in-between the action stuff.
There's at least one commenter I know's head just exploded when they heard that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The subject of Predator 2 has come up before. So, that was really fun. Joe, it's funny.
I will say, I don't know if it was outly like a better movie, because I think technically they're on very similar levels. Well,
no, here's the thing, right? So, I actually love the urban setting. I am fascinated with the idea that this, like in this case, the Predator, treats the skyscrapers as a jungle, right? I love that as an idea. That's fantastic to me. I do think the first one is the objectively better movie because the first one is a better directed film. There's more style, it's more confident, there's more of a direct style. Here, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not badly directed, it's fine. But I mean, when you're working with the director of the fifth Nightmare on Elm Street, who I don't think went on to do much more after this.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're going to get like it works, it's fine. It's not got quite the same level of style. Luckily though, they've just brought over all the designs of the Predator and stuff from the first one, so that looks great still.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. You got a good cast, like I say. So I actually really like Predator 2. I think it's obviously the premise of Predator is inherently kind of the B movie concept, but the first movie does it with like style and it's okay, no, this is actually really good. Not as good as say Alien does its B movie concept, but it does it really, really well with a good director who really makes it work. This one I think is veering a bit more into the schlock side of things, but as someone who likes schlocky movies about aliens killing people, I'm kind of not inherently against that. So I think one is the better movie, and I love one a lot, but I do kind of love Predator 2 as well.
I think it's because obviously it's the more original movie, because this is the same movie just in a different setting.
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
But I don't know if I said last time I'll maybe watch it again just in the background. This I would actually sit down and happily watch again sometime. This appeals to me just way more in concept.
Obviously the plot's very thin. Like there's very early on, like the Predator sees Danny Glover as this like alpha, male, therefore he must be my ultimate prey. So everything he does in the movie is, I mean, it's a little bit different than the first one in that he seems to be targeting various things in order to, like, almost trap or, like, track Danny Glover's character. That seems to be kind of the thing that's happening throughout the movie. But you do play a lot of the similar beats. You expand the Predator mythos a little bit. There's a little bit here or there. To a few more weapons, a few more ideas of how things work.
Yeah.
Even the mythos of like how much the government know about the Predator and what happened in the first movie. There's a little bit more of that just to kind of back that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I do think it kind of, as much as I love the ensemble cast, I do kind of feel like, but like by the time we get to Danny Glover, and I guess like mild spoilers here, but by the time we get to the end of the movie, it's just him and the Predator. Like that's.
Well, I mean, we already said it's the first movie again, so.
Yeah. But like, I do think they almost just randomly get picked off one by one, like a slasher movie, which almost feels to its discredit in this, just because I like them all so much that I could have done with a bit more of them.
No, I know what you mean.
Like I could have done with more Paxton. I could have done with more. Oh, Gary Busey's exit is glorious.
Yes, it is.
Oh man. And then there's those little stylistic things where like, when he arrives in a helicopter at the start, like that's when the main theme really kicks in, because that's how the first movie started, was a helicopter landing and people getting off the helicopter.
It's I love hearing that the jungle themes in the city.
Yeah, they don't back off that at all. They just go for it.
They go full in on urban jungle. We're going all in.
Yeah.
I know.
And it really,
I kind of appreciate that.
Yeah. But it also leads to some more fun things, like, the Predator, where he gets his food from in the city, like, where he's, like, hiding around.
How often he's hunting.
How often, yeah, all these things. So, no, it's... yeah, I dig Predator 2 a lot. I think... I think a pure action in terms of suspense, it's lacking compared to the first one. But in terms of like ridiculous schlocky moments, it is like way up there. It's got like tons of great little moments that crack me up or make me smile or whatever.
I'm honestly so glad that Arnie was busy and wasn't back for this, because I just like I said before, like he's not the type of action hero I enjoy watching. So I felt like that would have like dragged this movie down for me if I had to put up with him again.
Oh no, because I think if I remember correctly, the plan, like after he couldn't do it properly, they were still going to have him for a bit, and it was like after like we get the reference to him in this movie where they maybe bring him in to help or something like that, or like, but it ended up just going completely.
I think my
off.
problem is once you go from, if that had ever happened, as soon as he comes in, it's like, okay, it's his movie now, even if he's only there for that second half or whatever.
Yeah.
He takes over, and I'm like, I don't want that.
Yeah. I'll admit that there was a long period of time when I was rooting for a Predator 3 with Glover and Arnie teaming up. Like they were going to like form a squad.
Yeah.
All the survivors are going to go hunting.
I think you need to have a couple more movies where you have just one survivor at the end, until you can have enough to form a squad.
So long without a third movie. So long. Like my entire childhood, there was 2 Predator movies, and there was no third one. And then AVP happened when I was, 15? So for a long time there was the 2 of them. I was like, I want more, I want more Predator. Well, there was more, because we're doing more. You would be seeing Predators.
You got more coming this year?
Although not next, actually, that's a good point. We'll be doing AVP next in the franchise.
Yeah.
Because it's chronological, so...
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah. In my head, I always thought of it as the 3 movies and then the 2 AVP movies, but actually, if we're doing them chronologically...
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
But hey, so no, action's good, characters are fun, Bill Paxton's charming as always, and he is very good at playing a lovable sleazeball. That is Bill Paxton to a goddamn T. The violence is there, the gore's there, all the rest of it is.
And also, gang wars with voodoo. I'm down.
Yes, we have really over the top gangs. One of them's like full on a Jamaican gang, and then the other one's like the more cartel-esque gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, some fun stuff there as well. Again, very over the top. If anything, that's the one thing that... I mean, I like it in the movie, but if I was really criticise it, I'd say it does kind of feel like it's not in the same world as the first movie. Because the first movie starts off feeling very grounded, and then the Predator comes into it. Whereas here, everything's so over the top and kind of cartoony.
No, it's true. However, at the same time, it's kind of what separates it from that first movie, to stop it just being a complete retread. It's adding its own elements, which, I mean, some people might not like. To me, I'm more into those, but it makes it have a completely different feel.
Oh, it does. It does. I actually really like that they bring the death theme back. After one dies, like Danny Glover goes and goes to the grave, and you get the sad horn playing from the first movie again, and that's the point in the movie when you realise the Predator's really playing with him. Like he respects him because of what he sees at the start of the movie, and this is this is him letting him know, like, you're my prey, like I'm coming for you. And so all good stuff. So I guess we'll give the full on spoiler warning. We kind of danced around a couple of things, but we'll do the full spoilers so we can talk about IDs and stuff. So Gary Busey's character is leading a secret government team because this has happened a few times. Obviously, the first movie is referenced, but then there's been a few other examples. Yeah. And it's like, okay, right, there's one in the city, and we're trying to track him, and he tracks he. And actually, let's give him some credit here because you were questioning the last movie about the guns, and
I was.
I still don't know how. I can't explain to you why, but they clearly show in this that you can tell the difference between a real gun and a fake gun because there's a kid with a toy gun at one point.
Yeah, it's telling me he can do it. It's not showing me how, but it's definitely showing me he can do it somehow.
Alien technology is fine. Whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Go with it. You're telling me he can. It's fine. It's fine actually. In the opening scenes, the action scenes, I actually noticed at one point, and this makes sense that if the gun's being fired, there is heat, and you can tell.
That's true.
Because you see like the bullets sort of coming out because they're hot as the shells are coming, as the shells as they're being expelled.
That makes sense.
Or warm. And I'm like, oh, there you go. I mean, if they're not fired anything yet, then you can have a debate.
Really help, yeah.
But like, I was like, okay, now that kind of clearly shows like who's holding a weapon at the very least. So that's fun. Because that's the thing. The Predator goes after the gangs first and just completely decimates them. Because they're having this big war with the gang at the start, the cops, and then they go in, and they're like, okay, we have to get ready to go into this building, like, get all your body armor on, and it's going to be hell to pay. And then there's just like screaming and explosions up in the building, and they go up, and of course there's people hanging upside down, and
just bodies everywhere,
just bodies, blood baths, everything. Something I like whenever we get the Predator like just standing on a rooftop with the lightning behind him. Or if at one point it hits him, he actually gets hit by lightning at one point, and he's like, yeah, give me the lightning.
Yeah, bring it.
I'm a big bad monster. But I love seeing him, and that's going to sound really morbid, but I love seeing him rip out like the skull with the spinal cord attached to it.
Oh yeah, where it just rips up and the whole thing comes. It's fantastic.
It's so satisfying.
It is.
It's so satisfying. No, and I love that it plays with different settings. I love that you have an entire sequence on the subway. I love that sequence. I think that's like a really fun little idea. Predators on the subway, and you got two cops trying to save everyone. And even before then, it's actually a really funny scene because this guy are trying to like mug this guy, and he pulls out a gun. And then they're still not quite scared. Like, oh, look at this scared little man with his gun. And then like everyone in the subway car pulls out a gun. It's almost a bit of social commentary. It's a bit of satire almost.
It is, yeah.
Because later on, because Danny Glover figures out that he's only shooting people who are armed. He's like, they were all armed. That's why he shot them all. I'm like, well,
it's on you.
bit of messaging there, and yeah. And again, this idea that there's a code. He doesn't kill certain types of people. He doesn't kill the female cop because she's pregnant. Like he actually scans her because even though she's a warrior and even though she was kind of fair game. When he realizes she's pregnant, it's like no.
So no, there's an innocent life there that's not part of this.
Yeah. So now you get his idea of rules, and the final, like I actually get really surprised whenever I watch this. I always forget how long the final kind of like one-on-one like section is because I think when you get to the like when he because after the subway scene and he ends up following him across the rooftops and I love that as well, the idea that he's driving and he's like watching the roofs try to like spot the Predator. That's a really fun idea. But he ends up with Gary Busey and his people and they're like, okay, right, so he comes here to feed this meat packing plant and we've got these suits that, like unlike the mud from the first movie, they've actually just built like suits
that hide the body out the heat. Yeah,
and they go in, and of course they assume too much because the Predator starts like filtering these different visions. He's got like 6 of them. He's like, yeah, okay. Oh, I can see the light now. Right.
Yeah, he's got one that sees the torches.
Yeah, so that's a fun idea. But when he gets in there and it's very aliens, he takes out all the guys that've got the things except Gary Busey. I actually thought Busey was indeed dead, and it was a kind of funny death. I mean, I say thought, I meant like back when I was first watching it. I don't mean now because obviously I've seen it a bunch of times, but. Because he gets like the Predator like jumps out and like some of the stuff fires like behind him and it looks like Busey died there and then he has this comeback where he's like it's between you and me and then we get introduced to the disc blade thing that completely just like cuts the top half of his body off. It's beautiful.
Thing's pretty great.
The reason why I'm bringing all this up because we get a fight here between Danny Glover and the Predator and he gets like he's got his shotgun and he fires like a bunch of shots into him and he bleeds and he falls down and he takes off the mask, and we get the one big callback to the first movie, or "You're one ugly mother effer." Except the Predator interrupts him and says it himself.
Yeah. Because he's subverting that.
Because he's heard other people say that phrase. Because that's the other thing he does. He says a few, again, like the first movie. There's a few phrases he's heard here or there that he uses for other when he's taunting them or whatever.
I think he didn't properly speak in the first one, right?
He laughed. He laughed,
but there's a difference between a laugh and speech.
Sure, but when he does speak, it does sound like the same voice. You know, it does sound like the same being laughing.
No, it is. I just thought it was interesting because I thought, a laugh is one thing. You know, you can imitate, like, a hyena can laugh.
Oh, true. This feels like an extension of that, though, where they established that in the first movie, he can mimic what he's heard.
Yeah, it's the imitation for sure.
And it sounds like an imitation, but through this filter of his like raspy alien voice. Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, I think when you get to that point, you think, "Oh, this is a big finale." So Gary Busey is down. So now Glover's like firing off his shotgun and whatnot. But that's just the start of it. Then there's like a whole chase. They're up in the roof. There's a whole bit where Danny Glover's dangling, and the Predator's about to set off his bomb. He's like, "Okay, I guess we're done." And he puts his bomb on, and it just so happens that Glover ends up stealing his disc thing and cuts his arm off. Yeah, super. And again, that's why later on when he's fighting him one-on-one, kind of almost in hand-to-hand combat, it's like, okay, he's missing a hand. He's
got a bit of an edge.
Yeah, there's a handicap here now. Literally a handicap. But there's a whole thing where, in fact, my favourite line in the whole movie is, so it's after they've been on the roof, right, and the Predator's on the pipe. He falls down and he grabs out of the pipe, and it goes into this bathroom, and the Predator, like we see in the first movie a little bit as well, he patches himself up, he like closes the wounds and stuff, and he's using like bits of the porcelain, and he's got his own little acid thing on, and he's doing his own thing. And he ends up like getting out, and the whole time it takes Danny Glover quite a bit of time to climb down because he's scared of heights, and obviously there's not he has to get down on a pipe and sort of shimmy down. And
it's not easy, is it?
No, I don't envy him. But he eventually gets down, and the Predator's like ran through the building. There's this woman who lives in the apartment he's in. Is like, hey, there's something in here. And when Danny Glover gets in, and then he runs out into the hall, and she gets all scared, and she's like, "Oh, it's okay, I'm with the police." Her response is, "I don't think he gives a shit."
Yeah, it cracked me up.
That was a great line. Then he goes down the elevator shaft, and we find out there's a hole at the bottom of this building because the Predator has a spaceship snuck under here.
Yep. I love this whole section.
There's some logistics here that I think I have to question.
Go on.
As to how exactly... I mean, it's in a tunnel, so I guess the implication is they flew in the tunnel. It just happens to be big enough for this giant spaceship. But, pretty big thing to hide.
I mean, maybe the ship's been there a long time.
It could be, yeah. Maybe they've been hanging out for a long, long time. That's a very possible thing. But yeah, I assume you appreciated the trophy wall.
Oh yeah.
And the giant, the Easter egg that spawned a comic, like, comics empire.
Yeah.
And two really shitty movies. The alien skull, the xenomorph skull, amongst other skulls. A couple of human ones, and there's a couple of other things that I don't quite recognise. I almost wonder if you could do a spin-off someday of like, okay, so here's...
What's that one? Yeah,
here's that species. Such a fun Easter egg, though. And it's not even like you just sort of blink and you miss it. Like, you see the whole wall for a while. Yeah, you really get a good look at it. And then it becomes this fight, and we see him using the net thing that he used earlier on, but he's Glover's still got the disc, so he gets out of that.
Yep.
And then it's a full-on fight, and he kills him. And then again, adding to the mythology, we have like this other like 8 or 10 predators show up.
Yeah.
They're in the ship. Some of them got their masks on, some of them don't. They're all slightly different designs, so they all have a different look to them. And they pick up the body, and obviously Danny Glover at this point is shitting himself. He's like, well...
I just went through all that with one of them.
Yeah, I can't handle 10 of these assholes. But again, this idea they've got a code, because it's like, no, you won. Like
you won in single combat, that's it. Like
yeah, you have our respect. And on top of that, they throw him this old gun, this trophy, this old musket that they must have got from, presumably just when they came here hunting, centuries ago.
Right, which is why I'm wondering how long this ship has been here.
That's true, no, yeah, it could be. And is the defeat of just one of them enough to like, okay, it's time to go?
Yeah, could be.
Which does bring out a question, how long did they live if this is the same...
I mean...
if they've been here all this time.
I mean, it could be multiple generations.
Or is there more coming from space like we saw in the first movie, and they'd sort of meet up with this ship down here?
Yeah, this is like a rendezvous point.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah.
That said, they make a point in the movie I mentioned they get attracted to places of heat and conflict. And it sounds like this LA conflict is a relatively new thing.
Yeah, no, that's true. So,
yeah, the reasons they give for them being attracted to this city are...
No, that's fair.
So, you know, there's a thing. Ah, cat! Damn it! He jumped and slipped, so he sort of dug in to...
Catch himself,
and it was sudden and hurt. My little predator here.
Yeah. Should go the same way as this one did.
How dare you? How you dare you speak of Firefly like that? You're a Firefly.
I feel like out of all my opinions I've ever said on these shows, that might be the one that gets me the most shit in the comments.
Yep, it may very well be.
It really might.
Oh,
and this is a review where I said this is better than the first one. So, you know.
You may get a shot for that. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Hey, I said I liked it a lot as well. This is funny. I was like, oh, you might hate this, and I'm going to have to defend it, and it'll be a whole thing, and you know. But here we are. Yeah.
It is crazy to me how much more I enjoyed this one than the last one, because the other one I just wasn't into at all, really. Like it was fine, but I just wasn't into it. Whereas this, it was this is work for me. This is way more fun.
Oh. Okay, that's interesting. It's worth mentioning the new one is set in a town, in present day. So, well, I think it's present day. I mean, there's been no.
We assume.
So it's kind of funny how the third one, Predators, is kind of back to a jungle. There's more to it than that, but it's a jungle setting again. And it's funny how the even numbered ones seem to be the urban or maybe in this case suburban setting.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of funny. But hey, so no. Speaking of cats causing chaos, you want out, Garrus? Is that what you're telling me? Give another opinion about Predator 2 whilst I let the other cat out.
I think I care more about your cats being awful than I do about any of the Predator movies, because they are pretty consistently evil. I mean, that does beg the question though. Would you consider the Predators as evil, or are they just doing their thing? Because it's clearly their culture. Like you said, they've got a code of honor. They've got these things.
Yeah, no.
But can that make them evil, or is it just that's their culture and it clashes with ours?
Yeah, I don't think they're evil. I think they have honor, and they've not necessarily accepted that human beings are intelligent enough life to not be considered as game.
Yeah, because it's a weird thing like that. It's almost like they think that the humans are advanced enough to hunt. It's not even hunt necessarily, but more challenge.
Mm.
But at the same time, it's like, are they doing it just for the thrill of the hunt, or is it they actually want they want someone to fight back? They want the combat. They want someone to prove themselves. Yeah,
no. There's elements of that. I think it's definitely a common thing in the comics, especially when you have Alien versus Predator stories, that it's not that uncommon that the Predator ends up teaming up with the humans. Because the Xenomorph is just a beast. It's a wild beast, whereas the Predator is an intelligent being.
Well, because that's the thing. As much as they are the villains of the movie, right? I don't know if I'd say the Predators themselves are villainous. They're doing their thing. It's their culture, and it's different to us. But maybe it feels like maybe there's just a lack of understanding that humans aren't at that level. They don't understand that they're part of the game.
Yeah.
But it often doesn't feel like they're just picking them off for fun, like in that sense.
Yeah, no, that's fair. As for just the fun little bits, he's got a spear in this. That's a new part of the arsenal.
I did like that.
And the net thing we mentioned, and the disc blade are the new elements. Plus, he's got the gun from the first one again, and his claw and all the rest of it. But that was the new stuff. I think honestly, my biggest problem is probably that I could have done with it being a little bit longer, so we could have had more time with the four, because it's a team of 4 cops who are like a squad,
Yeah.
And like Bill Paxton's the new guy. He's replacing some old person who left or died or whatever. Yeah. And I almost feel like, no, I could have done with more of them, like, as a team, working out or doing things, or, you know.
No, I agree. Go into the gang a bit more, like with their case on that.
Yeah, let that draw out just a little bit more. Of course, I do enjoy when the Predator kills the was it Big Willie, is the head of the Jamaican gang.
Yeah.
Like that was a fun scene. Just the way he came down in the rain, it was just all very kind of.
No, I agree here, because I think that was part of my problem with the biggest problem with the first one. Was I didn't really like the characters. So there, when it was like, okay, they're over and done with, I was kind of relieved.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in this, I felt like they were all inherently more likable and diverse. That I was like, yeah, give me more time, give time with these as a as a team, as a squad. Do a bit more of the cop stuff first.
Yeah, yeah, that could have been fun. That said, it's pretty lean and mean, and I get why they didn't want to, like, drag down the pacing with doing that.
Yeah,
that does make,
especially with such a long last act.
Yeah, the last act is pretty long.
It is.
But I guess that's like being in the tradition of the first one, and sort of just giving it some weight and making it feel like Danny Glover's character really does kind of earn it, and like he really has earned the respect by the end.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of thing. So, that's yeah, I like Predator 2 a lot, and unapologetically, like
yeah. I'm shocked that I enjoyed this much as I did, because after the first one, I was kind of going into this going, okay, it's the same movie again. Is all you were telling me last time. I was like, this might be a bit of a chore to go through this one just again already. I'm like, okay.
But there's the thing. It is, but
yeah, it's just different enough.
Yeah, no, I have a blast with it. I think it's just simple enough, and honestly, I feel like that's how you keep doing Predator movies. Like, I like that the new one's going to be in a sort of suburban neighborhood place that could.
Yeah.
And I know technically the second Alien versus Predator is, but just because they've done it badly doesn't mean it can't be done well as well. So
sure.
Like yeah, just keep it, like, give me Predator in the snow, like Predator 5, do like Alaska or something.
Yeah, maybe like a small town, like an isolated town.
Yeah, or do Predator on a ship, or I'm just these different things, like just put the Predator in a different location with a different group of people, and
basically do the same movie every time.
To an extent,
in terms of structure.
In terms of structure, I think. But you have wildly different characters. Like, this one we had cop, the last one we had soldiers. Like, do one where there isn't any, like, fighters.
So go full, like, slasher style, then, essentially.
Well, kind of, but maybe the Predator's not actually there for them. Maybe he's there for something else. But, it
becomes get mixed up into it.
Yeah, but it becomes a thing or something. I don't know, like.
It'd be intriguing to see how they do that one and then not have it conflict with the, the code of honor.
Well, what if he's there hunting something else that's on Earth?
Okay.
Which again is kind of the plot of AVP2, but like again done well. Like not an alien, not an alien, but not a xenomorph, right? So he's here because there's something there, and like there's sightings of him, and they're all scared of him. Like this again, say it's on a ship or something, but he's actually on the ship because there's this thing's under the water somewhere out in the middle of nowhere.
But they're trying to fight back against it just because they know it's there. But even though it's not actually a threat to them at that point.
And then the Predator ends up being the hero because he ends up saving everyone. Because he kills the beast. Not because he actually goes out of his way to save people, he doesn't care. They're just collateral to him, he doesn't give a shit.
I think it could be interesting if you take a group of characters who are non-combatants, as the Predator would see them, but they're, for whatever reason, they become aware of the Predators around, hunting this other thing, and they kind of make makeshift weapons, get what they can get, and go and challenge it, sort of thing, and try, set their own traps. And then...
Unhelp him, you mean?
No. Still try and take out the Predator, because they don't realise that the Predator's hunting something.
Oh, because that was just making me think, though, what about a movie where the Predator's only with a group of people who are non-combatants because he's hurt or something like that, and then something like some bigger bad's coming for them, and they have to kind of like fight off this other thing, and it is like this story of the Predator like working together with these humans to fight something.
Which I would think could be interesting at the end of that. By the time that the humans are all, they've helped out, they've they've progressed enough as characters that they now would be considered combatants. You know, they can hold their own. So then the Predator can go after them.
Well, yeah, but he's not there for sport, so he's there to.
No, but that'll be like that's the sequel to that set of characters. Is then you bring him back to come after those characters because
could be a different Predator.
On. Oh, he could be, yeah.
Yeah, that's the key thing here. They're all different predators. They're all
yeah.
Same species, different thing.
Is there another species name for them? Like, you know, because obviously aliens are the xenomorphs.
I don't think so. Not that I know of. Maybe there is like a really nerdy name that I'm unaware of, but I think just the predators.
Okay, no, that's cool.
Is what we go with. I think the aliens need one because the word alien is so.
It's diverse, yeah.
It means anything, you know. It means like the predator is also an alien.
No, exactly. Which is why. But I just had a question, just in case. I'm not clearly. I'm not versed in predator lore.
And before anyone says it, I know that the alien is technically also a predator, but you know what? Predator is just a little bit more specific.
Yeah, it's not often. I think if someone says alien, I go, all right, which one? But if someone talks about predator, I go, okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know what you're referring to in context.
Yeah, so. No, xenomorph and predator. That's kind of what you go with, and that means next time we come back to this franchise, it will be Alien versus Predator, from Paul W.S. Anderson, everyone's favorite.
What a hack!
Dear. The sad part is there's IDs in that movie that aren't terrible, but it's just so bleh.
I think you know, the point is like the premise of Alien versus Predators immediately is okay. I mean, it's just why it's been done twice in movies and multiple times in comics. Is because the idea is a good idea. It's just down to execution, isn't it?
There's a pyramid in the Arctic.
Oh, I can't wait for this. I think.
Oh dear. So that'll be sometime next month when we get back to that and get to AVP. But for now, that is Predator 2. So yeah, it was 14 years before the next Predator-related movie of any kind.
Well, I'm sure they'll be coming thick and fast in the future.
I don't know. It doesn't feel like they are coming fast because the Predators came out in 2010, I think.
Yeah,
it's been 8 years. So
I mean, it depends how this one does, I suppose.
Yeah, that's true. I
can if it does really well, I can see them going right. Get another one.
I can see it being a moderate success, and then it'll be like another similar thing where in 10 years we'll get like another kind of standalone sequel that's not got anything to do with this one.
Yeah. I think it all really depends on how this one performs, which we're too far out right now to know. Yeah,
Predators didn't do it well at all, so I'm not expecting it to do big numbers. Obviously, if it's good, I hope it will, but. So yeah, that's Predator 2, which I unashamedly love. So
yes, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love it?
That is a good question, Connor. What do you rate Predator 2?
Okay, and for comparison's sake, I think I give the first one a 7.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna give this one an 8.
Oh, I can feel the hate.
I know, but I think I have a lot of fun with this movie. Way more fun than I had with the last one. I will happily put this on again.
What's funny is I believe I gave the first one an 8.
You did.
I also gave this one an 8. I think they're pretty close for different reasons. I think there's strengths in the first one that are missing here, but I think there's strengths in this one that are missing in that. And I like a bit of... It's the right kind of schlock for me. It's schlock, but it's my kind of schlock.
Yeah, but when you get that, it's like, yeah, this is what I want.
Yeah, so Predator 2, I don't know if anyone was expecting such a positive discussion, but here we are. So expect the AVP sometime next month. We actually recording this a little bit in advance because we've got a really busy April coming up, so we're recording this a little bit early. But yeah, so just in case we've made any reference to things that date this really weirdly when it does go up. But hey, so that's Predator 2. Let us know what you think of it in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. You can do that over there. There's a link in the description. And that is that. Obviously over at Patreon there's the monthly vote, which I can't tell you what the vote is right now because again we're recording this in advance, so we don't know what the April vote is yet.
It's something.
But go check out that $5 patrons, you can vote. for the next bonus. So there you go. But that's us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching movies, guys, and we'll see you next time.